When do we do the intro?
Right now.
Okay. Okay, well, in that case, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second episode of the Blue Streak podcast, where we talk about trains, turmoil, and everything in between. I'm your host, Stephen Oshesky, aka Jeep Studios, a fat foamer, whatever you call me, I am. There is also Ryan Loebner as your host, Jack Fuller, aka Arkansas Locomotive Works, and
Hi.
Michael, aka Shortline 614. Our guest today is Brandon Gabber, better known as BMI Railcorp or
Howdy,
the Signal
folks.
Meteor.
Brandon
There.
is actually sitting
favorite
right next to
Kentuckian.
me in my beautiful studio where my clock is currently going off.
Yeah.
A few
The
minutes late.
Joe Rogan Monkey Studio.
Yeah, the Joe Rogan Monk studio. Where my audio might be a bit weird this time because instead of it being close to me, I have to put it in between two people.
Nice.
That's
How we
okay,
doing,
it works.
gentlemen? How we doing?
I'm doing good. Now, part of the reason why we're having Mr. BMI Railcorp on today is because we did a meetup. He also saved.
That is
Well, let me just
correct.
explain
Yes,
what
we
it.
did do a meetup.
I guess we'll let him explain. Oh, he's eating a cream puff. He said,
Oh wait, is it those disgusting ones that I used as projectiles?
no, he actually put them in front of a thing, and they're actually good now because they're not rock hard frozen. But he saved. No, thank you, Brandon. He saved a Louisville and Nashville searchlight signal, which will become particularly relevant when we go to our topic, which is how to get into railroad preservation. So, anyways, I guess I'm actually going to let Jack go first. We do have a revised format based on feedback from last episode, which is we're going into the railfan experience, which is everyone takes their turn to talk about any railfanning, real-life modeling, virtual modeling they've done. And normally we have an order for this, but I'm actually going to let Jack go first because he was the only one here that wasn't at the meetup. So he's also the shortest. So let me just get his
He's
singular.
also the shortest. Oh,
Let me just get his singular photo up. So, Mr. Flor, go away.
All right, so I was informed by another rail fan here in Albuquerque that the BNSF OCS train, Office Car Special train, was coming down to Albuquerque momentarily, and I thought to myself, you know what the hell, I might as well go see it. And I waited. It was supposed to be in Albuquerque like at 11:30, and we waited for like 30 minutes or an hour, I forget. It was very hot. And the photo you see here, I'm basically trespassing because if I were on the station there, the lighting would have been absolutely horrible. So I'm going on the other side there, but I don't care. But that's not the worst part that I did. The worst ever thing that ever happened to me in my entire life, I shit you not. So the train was going at least 60 to 70 miles per hour when it flew by. And I decided to do the very smart move of setting my tripod like all the thingies out, and that apparently makes it very vulnerable to falling over. And that's exactly what happened there. My tripod with my camcorder rolling, it fell over. I got it all on 4K. I did not send that video in because it's absolutely horrible. So yeah, but it was still pretty cool seeing an OCS train. It was 2 Gevos leading. I should have gone to see Amtrak leading because the day after Amtrak was taking the coaches back up towards Kansas City and stuff, but I did not see it, and the lighting would have been horrible anyway. So yeah, and that's all for the Fleur experience. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
All right, the second one is of course Mr. Ryan. Now, we had a let's go with the Penn Central coach first because that's
okay.
the least relevant to events which occurred this week.
Just because I have two things. Just call them out for whatever one you're showing. So the Penn Central coach. This is a on-picture development of the fact that yes, I know that the terminal released their own 1970 Broadway Limited, and yes, I know that Trains Forge released a buttload of Penn Central coaches. But no, I'm not giving up on my quest for making my own Penn Central Broadway Limited because I don't give up. Let's be real here. This coach is an experimentation with GIMP in that I applied a very, very, very light weather to it, and I think it looks a hell of a lot better. And I think I might be using this strategy for all future coach reskins because makes the textures look a little more three-dimensional. Like if you zoom in, you'll see like there's a bit of dust and grime here and there. Because let's fucking face it, that's going to happen on every train. Like no matter where you are, there's going to be something that gets on the coach. Yeah.
I can just barely make it out. It looks good.
Yes.
I like it a lot, Ryan. You did a very good job.
All right.
Very well,
Thank you.
indeed.
And okay, and
Well, I guess let's do a bit of explaining about what occurred this week. So me, Ryan, Brandon, and I want to say Jack, but no, Steven had a massive meetup. Brandon flew into my house on Thursday.
Well, yeah, of
Were you guys
course,
able
I
to
just
repair
flew
it?
a
I mean-
747 right into this house, so we're
yeah, I was going to say I was going to say I think it was a bit of a sizable damage if Brandon literally flew into your house. I mean,
Yeah,
It's literally coming in the Pentagon to your house. Oh
on
my
Wednesday, we drove by the We drove by the
yes,
Pentagon.
big.
But,
the great English.
Yeah, because me riding the train has to do with rail fanning. So can I explain the melancholy of my trains that I took up there?
Sure. Actually, let me get. This is going to be a slightly different. Let me get the photo up. Actually.
Yeah, and now explain the Silver Meteor.
wait. I was going to wait. Can I not explain my model trains? Or we're waiting for that.
Well,
That's sort of the end game.
we're gonna, we're gonna try and explain this chronologically.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
So no one's going in in a specific order this time. I guess we're all kind of doing this.
Right.
So Steven, Brandon got to my house on Tuesday. We did Monday.
Yes.
We did absolutely fuck all. And then the next day we woke up super early and went to Washington D.C. to get Steven and let him explain his journey on the Silver Meteor.
Okay, so the Silver Meteor, the prestigious Silver Meteor. It's silver. It's a meteor. It's a train.
Cool.
So I woke up. I went to Winter Park Station. Now it would be more direct to go to Orlando, but Orlando is crumbling beneath its feet. It's right in the middle of the ghetto. It was still so far away from downtown because the ACL did that for some reason. So we went to Winter Park because it's safer and Winter Park is based. So we go to Winter Park. It's just torrential rainfall. It's like a mini hurricane, as per most Florida summer days. About 9 a.m. The Silver Meteor pulls in early. Mom has a mental breakdown as I get into the train because she's like, my baby boy, because it's the mother sense.
Mother knows
Also,
best.
it was just a trip just boarding the fucking train because we had to move to the northbound track on the other side. And there was and the direct crossing between the tracks was flooded. So we had to walk all the way down to the west side in the pouring rain, and all the way back to the northbound track. And then I had to get on a golf cart with some woman from Philadelphia to drive us to the other end of the platform where we just were to board the fucking train. So the Silver Meteor arrives, but it overshots the platform. It overshoots the platform. So they have to back up another 100 feet or so. So I get on. I'm like, oh boy, window seat. Oh wait, no, it's not a window seat. It's an aisle seat. Okay, whatever, it's fine. I'm seated next to a woman with 3 whole teeth. She's great. It's great. And then I'm like, okay, hell yeah, I'm taking a train. This is my first time ever riding a revenue train, Amtrak, and a little Amfleet 2 tin cans where you can feel literally everything. I mean everything. You can feel every piece of ballast. It's just it's an Amfleet. Just why did they even build these? They're so retarded, but kind of nice. I still like them though. And
Rifle
so
slots,
for the
as
first 10
David P.
minutes,
Morgan once put it.
and so for the first 10 minutes, I'm like, oh boy, I'm on a train. 10 minutes later, oh god, I'm on a train. Because I'm in this cramped fucking tin can for 17 hours up to Washington.
It should be noted that Steven did not get a roomette because that was too expensive.
Yeah, because that's too much money. And Mom's like, I'm not sending you in a roomette for $1,000. I'm not going to sell my kidney to Amtrak for a fucking bed. No. So I checked an hour later where we are. We're in Sanford, 2 feet away from fucking Winter Park. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a fun ride. And it was nice. It was really pretty between there and Palatka. We stopped in Palatka, and it's Palatka. I've never seen it. It's a really shitty town. The conductor joked that we stay in Palatka for 2 minutes because they don't want the wheel stolen. So
Very good.
And in North of Palatka, our base conductor gets in an argument with this really fat ex-marine, like huge, like Boogie 2988 huge.
Is he in a jail in Fayetteville, Arkansas?
The two largest passengers next to each other in this cramped train. And then they got into a big argument. It was great. And he stormed off to the end of the car to go speak to the seating man.
Oh god.
He was so big. He had to go through the vestibule sideways to fit. It was great.
Damn it.
So we hit Jacksonville. They clean the train because it takes like 40 years at Jacksonville stop because they got to restock the cafe car and all that. Jacksonville's just a garbage town, and because Amtrak hates large cities, they build their depots like way on the outskirts of town in the western limits. So it's like again way out in the ghetto. So it's just
Wait, hold on. In the ghettos or the meadows, in the towns or the meadows.
Listen, no, the only person who's allowed to, the only two people who are allowed to sing that whole song are Tally Hall and Nicholas Clemens.
Yes.
Right, that'll play
And
into our
Minecraft
story
note
later.
blocks too.
Yeah, them too.
Yeah.
But they're not people;
Okay.
they're video game objects.
Yes.
So we go through Folkestone. It's really beautiful. I get an Amtrak hot dog because my grandpa's like, Steven, listen, buddy, you gotta eat the hot dog. It's so good.
The Am Dog, as we dubbed it.
So I get the Am dog, but the dog is so fucking big and the bun is really small, and it's just like it's like condensation. It has that school food condensation as you open it. Just the air of disappointment as soon as you smell it. I'm here eating my Am dog and bag of Skittles, and I'm just looking at it. It was real pretty, like the rays of sunshine through the Georgia pine trees. It was real beautiful. We reached Savannah, and the Am dog struck a nerve, so I took a really fat Am shit. That was fun. So I missed the Savannah stop, but it was probably garbage. Up through Yamasi, or as they see it, Yamasa. So we stop at Yamasa, like the world's worst Amtrak depot ever. Like this puts Fulton to shame. It's just garbage. There was no one there. Now I intended on sleeping by the time we reached Yamasi around 9 p.m. But they kept the lights on until 11. All the lights on until 11. So I couldn't fucking sleep. Also, a melancholy, we stopped at a siding in Green Pond, South Carolina, and I got so scared, like shot myself. So, like, are we gonna get hit by a train? Are we gonna get
Breaking news: Michael weather report is currently raining cats and dogs, and we're getting severe lightning and wind. So if our power or stream suddenly goes out, that is why.
If the stream suddenly dies, you know what happens. Before this, literally, we rushed back because we were in the middle of taking pictures of supercells.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so it took me forever to fall fucking asleep. I think I fell asleep like up near like Fayetteville or something. And then I fall asleep, and then I wake up, and we're already on the RFMP in Quantico, which is right outside of DC. And it'll just really be the RFMP is gorgeous, especially the northern end. Just so many beautiful long bridges. Also, it's just me, or it's like going like 80 miles an hour on bridges with like no trusses are just fucking nerve wracking. It's just so fucking nerve-wracking. And we got in the DC. And I go out of DC. I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be a beautiful DC uni station. I go up to the floor. And this is everything's just crumbling. It's just the B&O's crumbly abode, you know?
Hey,
there's no roof. There's no fucking roof. Like, the roof is broken. It's great. So I walk into like the no AC area, into the main concourse. It's beautiful. It actually is. There's like 3 people there. Then I see them. I see the men: Brandon Paul Gabbard and Michael Altamare. And then I'm just gonna get to the saga of the Red Lad, and then I'll let you guys take it from here.
So, you want me to get? I have a picture of the Red Lad.
Yeah.
I have a shitty one too.
The Red Lad because it's important.
I have a video.
So
actually.
I go up there. I say hi to George, who was Michael's dad. Then we immediately go back into DC station, and we start rail fanning.
I will be back.
It's 7 a.m. It's just when the start of the trains came. So a lot of VRE. VRE is a great railroad, by the way. Just beautiful scheme. The tiger stripes at the end. A lot of the cellos. And then we noticed something. I said, "The hell is that?" It was the Red Lad, aka the Amtrak Veterans Unit. What is it called? ASC 64s.
ASC 64, yeah.
Yes, that thing.
ACS 64.
And famous last words. Let's get a closer picture of it. So we were all the way at the end of one terminal, and the thing about DC is that there's no direct way to get like between the tracks without like going on the tracks, and God forbid we fucking do that because that's horrible. Also, a fucking base conductor or like a maintenance man passed by and said, "Y'all ain't gonna blow the place up, are you?" And
that's when we were looking at the Siemens chargers.
Yeah.
And then I said, "Not yet," and he laughed and left. It was great.
When Steven said "not yet," I was like, "Oh God, Steven, you shouldn't have said that. Now we're gonna get screwed."
I like to point out
we're all gonna die.
I like to point out in that photo that Steven looks like he's wearing Speedos or some shit.
Yeah, this was my photo. Taken.
Oh yeah. Look at me.
This was taken on my phone, and as we got down to the platform where the red lab was,
we were literally.
We had both touched the rear of the train, and the train just took off.
I was running down the platform to get this picture. The train was moving because those electrics, they really take off.
Here's what happened. So we went to go see the red lab, and we got off at the wrong track, and we saw a whole line of others of the other ASCs.
We saw 4 ASC 64s all linked up together,
all getting washed. So we said, this is nice, but where's the red lab? So we all go that. At the beach grove, I'm off this car for a bit because it was just parked there. And then we ran down to the consist. It was like a mile long. It was a long ass Amtrak consist. God did not want us to see the red lab. That's what I'm fucking saying. So we dash down, and then we hear the toot toot. It's like our stomachs sink. The train starts to depart. We don't even see the engine yet. So we get in the high gear, and we start fucking dashing up to the front like a fucking band of rabid foamers. And a fucking girl said, "You all catch the train?" I said, "No, we're just rail fans." And she laughed. And I'm in that picture because I actually ran up enough to get a pretty good picture of it in the rear, like a decent image of it departing, and I was so out of breath, I fucking collapsed because I ran so fucking far. Because when they get running, they hit the ground running. They fucking zoom. So we were thankful to even get that picture, and that's like probably that and the charger we saw were probably the catches of the meetup.
Okay,
very good.
Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna
y'all
do my
can
thing.
take it from here, Michael.
I'm gonna do my thing, and then I'm gonna bring up Brandon's photos and let him explain his section. So this is something completely different. This came in the mail like a day before Brandon got here, which is my fucking amazing Gulfmobile in Ohio illustrated historical reference book. Also, hello NSP Productions in chat. So we go to DC Union Station. Now, some context: Brandon's never seen passenger trains before. So we go out on the platform totally expecting that we're going to be kicked off. Turns out, no, you can run up and down the platforms all you want as long as they're not boarding a train, which is completely understandable. So all of these pictures are on my phone because I kept bringing my video camera, but I kept forgetting to bring my picture camera. So here's a picture of a really shitty picture of a back of an Amfleet in the Acela.
Oh, that's cool.
This is a whole separate thing. That's something for later. But these were some of Brandon's first photos. I'll let him explain.
Yeah, we got down to the end of the platform there, and literally the first Amtrak train I see is the Acela. Because as soon as I open the door, there are two of them sitting right next to each other. And I'm like, I used to think they were very ugly passenger trains. I was like, these things are not bad when you look at them in person, you know? And I was just thankful to see the Acela at all because, you know, they're about to be phased out by the Evalia Liberty trains. So,
yep.
And then we got down to the end of the platform, and I hear an e-bell. I hear like, oh, something's moving down there. Maybe it's one of the ACS 64s. Nope, here comes this VRE train. And I got it was my first time taking pictures in a really industrial environment because I come from rural Kentucky where trees are literally everywhere and there is no concrete jungle. And so, first picture of the cab car was kind of meh. And then I got this, I think it's pretty alright picture of this VRE locomotive in this beautiful paint scheme from the rear end pushing the train out of the station.
Here's another one of the pictures. Anyways, we pick up Steven, and we decide, back here, that we want to go, because Brandon, he bought a Richard Nixon boxcar, and he brought it to the meetup. like a
Oh
Richard
my
Nixon
God.
1970. So we decide we want to go take a picture of it in front of the Watergate Hotel.
Yes!
So on our way,
This is
we
the
saw this
moment we've been
beautiful
waiting for.
mural of Larry Shipmore. Here's Larry Shipmore right here.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty funny. It's actually like a homeless, like, Lives Matter thing, because there's a lot of homeless people in DC. And then, shit, let me get up Brandon's photo. And then this glorious picture was taken.
What?
I have a better photo, which I unfortunately don't have up with me right now. Let me actually bring it up.
Jack, you fucking glitched out. So all I heard was and then just
Here's a much better photo of the Richard Nixon boxcar in front of the Watergate Hotel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Apparently the photo is spreading too.
Yeah, it's being
Which I find
spread
great.
around, which I actually really like. So
I mean, that's good, right?
yeah, and then what we do is we decide we want to go to, I think it's called Long Beach Park, right? Which is an area in Alexandria.
long Bridge Park.
Long Bridge Park. So we go to Long Bridge Park. A reminder, it's like 90 degrees out. And
Yeah, and I'm wearing
we
fucking
sat in an
jeans.
area with no shade. But here's some more of Brandon's photos. This is an Amtrak train.
My first moving Amtrak train I ever saw. I think this was the Silver Meteor. Leaving, right?
Yeah, something like that. And then here's another VRE.
VRE picture. That's Steven. Really cursed picture of Steven.
He looks like John Lennon.
Oh
More
no!
VRE trains.
Imagine
And then I got a
there's
picture of a
no
I got a
Amtrak.
picture of a VRE train going through the signal bridge and an airplane landing in Reagan National Airport.
That's
In
fucking
the
cool.
background too.
Okay, then we
Oh, yeah,
decide.
that was based.
Then we decide, all right, we're sweating our asses off. We need to go somewhere with a bit more shade. So we decide to go to Alexandria Union Station. This beautiful picture of your host, truly. I'm going to click off that now. So we decide,
Go back to DC.
because we're going to transfer to Ryan at DC anyway. So we decide to go back to DC. Good. And we find the Siemens Chargers, right? And here's my picture of a close-up Charger. Now, a lot of people really don't like the Siemens Chargers. However,
I don't understand why they look beautiful in person.
I think
honestly.
they look. A consistent theme of this meetup is things look better in person than they do in pictures.
Oh yeah.
I was
Oh, yeah.
walking up and down this, and I noticed something I didn't notice about the Siemens Chargers is the open like grill area you can see over here. And I think
Oh, yeah.
Brandon made the joke that it's secretly a tunnel motor. So, which is good because I like tunnel motors. So here's Brandon's pictures of the tunnel motors next to I always forget what those
MP36
MP36. Now the cab room on the MP36 is
is
fucking
ridiculous. It's almost like the inside's too big for one. It's for one engineer too. Wait, no, excuse me, for two. Crew of two. My bad.
Yeah, crew of two. He also took pictures of some CPLs.
There were B&O CPLs everywhere in DC Union Station with all aspects: red, green. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. Clear, approach, stop, and restricting.
That's fucking cool.
So the next thing that we do is we go to Ryan's house, and I have to share some
So-
of mine.
May I tell can I tell the story from here on out because
Sure.
it's
Let me
my
get up.
house.
Yeah, let me get up some photos real quick.
In the middle of the street, my house. You
Yeah.
know, this is where we used to sleep. My house.
I think I have the best photo of the entire trip.
Yeah. Hold on. The thing is, Michael, you're not sharing your screen on Discord.
Oh shit, I forgot. I should remember.
Yeah,
Here's
so we
your-
can't- So we've sort of just been stumbling through the dark throughout the last.
Thank you for telling me.
Okay, yeah. So this photo quite possibly embodies what happened at my house. So the scoop is basically this. I have inherited a copious amount of kind of shitty Bachmann model power and our favorite, the best model fit manufacturer company in the world. Like Broadway Limited has nothing on these people. Tyco. I don't know if
Yes.
you heard of them. They're really neat people. I've inherited a bunch of their old shit equipment. And basically, I think my part of the meetup can basically be summed as this. Destroying shitty Tyco trains. It was great.
Butterball never got destroyed, unfortunately. We always forget to destroy him afterwards.
Michael, please just hit him with a bell pair hammer in my honor.
Next
That'd
time
be
I go
great.
rail fanning, I'll run him over with a train.
Thank you. He can finally die.
I'll
So
record it
basic-
too and just upload it as like a 30-second
Yeah,
video
so-
on my channel.
So the casualties were mainly Butterball, the Union Pacific Caboose, and that poor Model Power F3, which continued to run after being thrown down the stairs. So that's a shameless promotion for Model Power. Their stuff will last. So that's
They will.
pretty based.
I can survive Steven.
I think the one of two highlights out of my, I think the two highlights from my part, aka the Maryland part of the trip, is that we went to the very epic hobby shop in my area.
We'll show off all of our model train stuff at the
Plug
end.
in for Star Hobby. They're really great. I love them to death.
Yeah, Star Hobby Models. They wonderful place. They have many wondrous items. That's all I'll say about them. We'll explain about their models later. And we also visited my Model Railroad Club, which our favorite, my friend Tyler, shout out to him, opened specialty for just us. It was hot as balls there. They accidentally had the heater on in
The Severna
middle of
Park
a mirror.
Model Railroad Club, which is rather nice. I do want to join it eventually. So,
But it's an ancient club.
it is ancient though, and it does need a lot of work, but it's still rather nice. And
Yeah.
so you might my dogs are upstairs and you might be able to hear them. But Brandon brought his camera to Severna Park, and here's a really nice we decided that me and Steven wanted to lash up a couple of locomotives that we had.
video.
Oh, this is the E8 video?
Yeah.
Okay, so you explain.
So, essentially, I was never interested in model trains until this meetup. And that's kind of funny because usually when foamers get into as they progress in life, they usually say, oh, I want to start with some model trains. Ooh, I want some rare signals. Ooh, I want this and that. Well, I went the other way around. I got a rare signal first, then I got a train horn, and then I got HO stuff. I went backwards in the evolution of the foamer.
I'll play the video.
And Ryan taught me how to run this thing, and it was very complicated, and I'm very thankful that he taught me how to do it because I think I was the only one that was trying to do it besides Ryan.
Yeah. Brandon gets major points. The fucking DC system. Like, I love Club. Like, let's make not two ways about it. I fucking love Club. But it's a fucking chore to run your train around. Like, I think Brandon might have put it best. It's 75% actually running your train and 25% actually enjoying running your train. Which,
Yes.
Here's a picture of the
Yes.
L&N unit he
That
got.
I bought for $75.
Here's a Richard Nixon boxcar. There it is, up
And
close.
it's iconic.
Yep.
And Brandon was real natural. It was great. Like, there was no like feeling out process. He straight up like, I'm gonna replace the couplers on the Richard Nixon unit with no prior education. Just did it.
No, I
Then he
just
did another
straight
one.
up like, I'm
And
gonna
he did
replace
another one,
couplers.
another one, and then he loved it. It was great. It was like he's real natural. It's great.
I've run out of couplers. Newsflash. So
You know, it's like that scene in Forrest Gump where Forrest joins the Marines and he's taking
Army.
apart
Oh, like ping pong? The ping pong scene?
the rifle and putting it back together again. It's like that scene.
Or it's like
that's
he's playing ping pong?
that too.
Now,
But
Brandon
I mainly
has-
ended for that with the rifle scene.
Brandon
That's
has
great.
the best photos from the meetup. So the next day we went home, and then we went out to Point of Rocks, Maryland, which is my
Oh,
rail
boy.
fanning spot.
hold on. Something Point of Rock, something. We rejoin Amtrak's Capital Limited as it heads south from DC. Something. I hope someone here got that reference.
Didn't we go to
people
the
will be
mall
like,
transport
America,
office?
my roof. So these are all of Brandon's photos because he took a lot of photos. He has all the good photos, which is why I'm showing them all. So we get to Point of Rocks, right?
We're not even there for maybe like 7 minutes, and then this loaded coal train comes by. He's flying through. First train of the day we see, and the next train we see is Mark Station. Like, I want to get a picture of Mark and the station, so I got this shot here.
Nice.
And then,
Here's
of
all
course,
of us.
we had to do all of us together.
There's me from left to right.
Michael was standing on a bench. You're cheating. You should have been on the floor. Right.
Michael's short.
Yeah, from left to right, me, Ryan, Steven, and of course Brandon.
My God, Ryan, you're fucking huge.
I told you he's a
That's
human
great
tree.
picture. I think that's the best picture of all of us.
Yeah, that is honestly.
Just
that
Photoshop
was
me
a
into
great
there
picture.
so I don't have to cry.
Yeah, look at this Jack's head. No, you know that picture of Jack like facing the camera with his tripod?
Yeah.
We kind of put him in the corner and let him take it.
Send me those 2 photos and I'll work my magic. Fuck it.
All right.
Send me that photo and
Yeah, I think it's one you took at Marion, Ohio.
It's
at
too
the
big for
station.
Discord.
Oh, it's too big for Discord.
Yeah.
Jack?
Yeah.
Screenshot it. Just screenshot it.
Just go to the stream and screenshot it from there. Just
I used it as a thumbnail and I put the purple guy in there for one of your joke videos.
Oh, yeah.
Here, Jack. Do you have it still? Do you have your Marion, Ohio picture?
I might.
So, and then here's another picture of signals.
Yeah, there's clouds coming in.
I think that's one of the best. The best unironic photo you took was that.
No, I like this one.
I like this one. But
that one's my favorite. One of the favorites of the trip is the Point of Rocks post in the clouds. And then here's a train. It's like this is an intermodal train heading which direction was that again, Michael?
Washington.
He's heading away from Washington, and I got a picture of him knocking down the signal there at Point of Rocks.
Long exposure, yeah.
No,
and then
there's me and Ryan ascending.
I decided, you know what? I'm gonna show these people the signal dimension. So
yeah, Steven and
We're
Ryan
dead.
going to the signal dimension.
Michael did not want to go there for some reason.
Anyways, so we need to tell the story about the Uber. So my mom took us out to Point of Rocks, right? And she's like, "All right, you guys are going to stay until like 11, and you guys can get an Uber back." So we were under the impression that we were going to get an Uber back, and like 30 minutes before the Uber was supposed to show up, there is a green signal here, and there's another green signal at one of the signals heading towards Washington. We were starting to be like, "Oh shit! Please at least let one train show up." And we were like thinking that like, "Oh shit! The Uber's gonna pick us up, and we're not gonna be able to see any of the trains." But it turns out we couldn't. Apparently, my mom couldn't arrange an Uber for us, so she came and picked us up herself, and we saw a manifest train that was stupidly long, and it had some Maryland Midland.
It had a lot of tank cars.
It had a lot of.
guys, thank you, Coda.
Coda did that for us. Thank you, Coda.
Thank you, Coda. I've been picked.
Oh, that photo!
Jack was there. What do you know? Jack teleported. He was there.
That was at Texas State Road.
Okay, that wasn't there. Okay.
Yeah, Jack's the one taking the picture.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you, Coda.
Thank you, Coda. That's going in real announcements.
And then the day next, we had to take Steven to DC. We decided to get there a little bit early, so
no, we need to talk about my mom trains.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, so
yes, and then next day was Harpers Ferry too, and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I think actually before we went to Point of Rocks, right?
My very poor financial decision. Yeah.
Also, my very poor financial decision that pissed off a guy.
Yeah,
we can't forget.
I'm gonna reveal it for last.
Explain, Ryan. Explain for us.
Well, okay. I'll preface the story and then Michael can begin. We visited 2 hobby shops, and I think the best way to describe them, one
we
is like
visited Ryan's and we visited mine.
I think the way we can describe mine is that it's a little more.
It's bigger and it's less expensive.
It's bigger and less expensive, and Michael's definitely had some humdingers. Real humdingers when it comes to prices. I'm not paying $10 for a fucking Conrail Tyco F7.
In my defense, I go there for O-scale because I do O-scale and the prices are fine. So
that is true. That is true.
I wouldn't recommend there if you do HO.
That's a whole saga and a half.
That's a whole saga and a half. Anyways, let's start with the simple saga, which is Steven picked up this AC-12. Also, I see you have the Manual of Trains on your shelf. I know you haven't read this book, and I'm going to hold you at gunpoint until you do.
Oh, that's a very good book.
It is.
I have it in my suitcase as my in my emergency in case to read.
It's AC-11. It's actually an AC-11. And when I was at your place, Michael, to buy that, I didn't know what to buy, that or a B&O 210-2, the big lot I had for the Minecraft server.
Oh yeah, you had a big sex.
But Ryan, I asked my boy Ryan for advice, and he steered me the right way. Now I really love it. And turns out it's like $300 on eBay and rare too. So I'm really happy with that.
Another
so
side note is with the Manual Trains. That's the book that got me like really deep into railroading, like rare business side. But so if you were around last week at our very piss poor attempt at a first podcast, this is also a piss poor attempt, but it's a better piss poor attempt.
We're trying. Come on.
I went to the train store and I said there were 2 New York Central mini train masters, Fairbanks Morse 1644s, right? And I was sure that I would have enough money. I would bring in some stuff, and that would get the price down. I would have enough money to buy it. I arguably spent too much money at Ryan's shop because I made some poor financial choices in buying these. This is a whole saga and a half. Basically, I show up to the train store and I say, thank God they're still here because I was in a race with another guy in order to get these. So I start putting together my money on my debit card and what I cash, and then I also bring in like a Camelback, a boxcar, and a Caboose that are they're 20 years old. And that gets the price down $95, so these are only around $300. The retail price was $400. So I look at my money and say, oh shit, I don't have enough. So what I do is I give away a HO scale Kanawha to Ryan in exchange, Kanawha, sorry. I don't really pronounce it Kanawha, but I'm talking fast. So.
It's West Virginia, okay? It's fine.
Fucking, I'm in normal Virginia. Screw you.
Nice.
But I practically give away my HO scale Kanawha and a couple of other pieces of rolling stock in order to get enough money in order to buy these.
I spent $60 on you, Michael. You better use those. $60.
My 1 year hurts.
Okay. To be fair, like I don't know what I'm gonna do with that canal. The fucking pilot is broke. Thanks, Michael. So I'm gonna have to go find. I'm gonna go find. It's gonna be a whole question and a half. Get ready for Ryan's great quest to find an HO scale pilot that would somewhat remotely fit a 284.
So back to my story. So yeah, I didn't have enough money. I had to borrow money from Ryan. I only got around $95 for the Camelback, the boxcar, and the Caboose. And honestly, I am now basically financially bankrupt. Luckily, I have a savings account where a lot of my money goes to anyways, so in an emergency, I'm fine. But anyways, the important part of this story, I guess, is, well, there's 2 important
Wait. Pause. So you mean to tell me you had a savings account that you could have accessed?
Oh my god.
It's only
Wait.
Ryan, in my defense, my parents only let me access to it in an emergency. I do not have access. I do not have regular access to it. Like, if I'm stranded in the middle of nowhere and need to come home, then that's the only time I'm allowed to use it. Other than that, I can't use it for normal purchases.
Okay,
no, but Michael, this was an emergency for your fucking...
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I was totally prepared to... I would have been incredibly disappointed if I didn't buy these, but I wouldn't... It's not the end of the world. Anyways, there's 2 important parts to this story. The first thing is, as the guy at the train store is packaging these up, the guy who I was in a race with to buy these walks in.
Oh.
And you know the look you see on someone's face where they're so mad they won't even look at you?
Yes, the tensions in the store were so hard you could cut it with a butter knife.
I was sweating to I don't know why, just model trains. And this is gonna sound dumb, but I was nervous. I was a bit nervous.
However, if that man had laid hands, there would have been a throwdown.
Yeah.
Also, I loved how
he did begin to lay hands on my models, picking them up and looking at them. And
he was groping them, low-key groping them. It was great.
And I don't know if this is just my brain saying it was a tense moment, so I don't remember everything exactly straight. So I don't know if he actually. If the guy is watching this, I'm sorry, but at least in my head, the guy was saying something along the lines of, "Are you sure you really want these?" But I did come home with them, and they're conventional, and they don't have sound. The dummy is basically a freight car; it doesn't have lights. But I do plan on putting sound in them. That's fairly easy. And they run great. They can pull a lot. They run great. The smoke effect is beautiful. And
Nice.
overall, I'm actually fairly happy with my purchase. So
Good
that
job.
was the saga. And then Point of Rocks happened. And then I guess we went back to... No, we didn't go back to Union Station. I guess Ryan left that night. Is there anything I can else?
You know what?
bring
I
up?
didn't leave the night of Point of Rocks.
Yeah, but the night after.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we went to Harpers Ferry, and that was kind of.
And that was a fail.
Yeah,
fail.
so we went to Harpers Ferry. I have some photos from Harpers Ferry, like grand total of 2. So we went to Harpers
Y'all
Ferry,
not see much?
and my dad is like, "All right, we need to go and eat." So we eat. As we eat, 2 trains come by,
Aww.
and then as we
the
get
food
to
was
the
good. The
station,
food was great.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
quite
that's
like
not
the food.
worth it though.
I
You idiots, you don't realize this. When you railfan, you don't sit down and eat because it will kill your time. And guess what it did? It killed our time. We wasted 3 trains.
But I think, but I
with a
think
Y
that
and 2
food,
leading one of them.
but I think food is a little bit more important than trains. Just me though.
Not to me, asshole.
it was more my dad than
Bummer.
anything else. None of us. Okay, in our defense, it was my dad's idea, and none of us knew that anything was going on. So
Scanners are your best
Train.
friends.
We did-
That's a lie. I had the radio and I was listening to it. I said, "Hey, there's a train gonna be here soon," like 2 times.
All I'm saying is that it's a fucking train, and I think eating is more important than the single fucking train.
Thank you,
in my
Steven.
defense.
Yeah, but
I am with you.
if you wait like maybe a couple minutes to go see the train or see the trains and then eat, you'll.
But we
caught a
did
train
also, but
and
you
then
tend to
eat.
forget, we did see the train. Like, we saw him from the fucking
Yeah,
window.
but we didn't catch them. That's the
We
thing.
did see a leading YN2, which was a good makeup.
All
I
right,
mean, let's
all
be
right.
honest.
Let's put this argument to rest. So yeah, we went back to the station. We saw another train came by that was too early. We also saw another train pull into the Shenandoah sub, but it was too far away to get any pictures. So we just decided to say fuck it and go to Millville, where the switcher is. This was the most disappointing day out of all of them. This is a
No, the Eureka Cab was nice, and so were the 2 guys just standing there, motors on, doors open. We could have strolled in there and stole them, but no, we didn't. They were at the mercy of us. It
There was
great.
also we were taking pictures of the train, and there was also a guy who drove by in a half truck, who just
Yeah.
said something along the lines of "fuck you,
Didn't
get
look
off
up
the rail
Drake,
tracks."
something like that.
And
It was some meth head wanting someone to bitch at.
yeah, and then we came home that night, and this is another picture of all of us in my living room, and then Ryan left. Or the mini.
No, we played a big ass game of hide and go seek.
Yeah, we did. That was really.
It was so much
stupid.
fun.
Yeah.
That was a highlight of the meetup. It wasn't stupid. It was fun. That was great.
All right, and then. Yeah, then we went back to DC, right? To drop off Steve.
And the 2
Oh,
Acellas,
that's a nice picture.
there were more Acellas
Nice
sitting
picture.
there, and I said, you know what? One's about to leave. I'm like, oh, I better get pictures of this. This is the only good picture it turned out because the front of the train was under underpass, and the rest of the train was in the sun. So getting a
Brandon's a really good picture.
getting good
I like that a
lighting,
lot.
getting good lighting with this picture was very hard. So I just took a picture of the front of the 2 Acellas.
To be fair, this goodbye was very botched. I don't even think we technically had a formal.
I was
goodbye.
confused. I thought the power wasn't tacked on yet. I was at the ass end of the train, like, where's the P-42s at?
Yeah, and I saw as me and Steven were coming down the steps. I noticed that the P-42s were going on the train, and I told Steven, "Hey, wait, I want to see this power back on." And then he just kind of walked off and got on the train.
No, I had to board now, Michael.
Oh, I didn't know.
I had to board.
Okay, to be fair, I did not know.
So what was I supposed to do? Just stay there with you and fucking have a train leave without me?
Okay, I did not know that at the time, so that is understandable.
And then here's the cell with its headlights on that left, and there's a picture of it.
Oh, that was today.
You got too far into the future, Michael. You
Yeah.
can't just...
So we go back to my house. Me and Brandon are bored out of our mind. Basically, do nothing for the rest of the day. And then tomorrow, which is today, which is the day we're doing this, and like 5 hours ago, we decide that we want to go up to the Walkersville Southern, and we don't actually want to ride the train. We want to chase the train. So we get to
That's fucking
Walkersville,
cool.
and we see that there's this. What is this thing?
A 45 tonner. A 45
That's a
tonner.
45.
It was actually... We actually... you go ahead, I'm sorry.
We talked to one of the guys there, and he said that this isn't actually Maine Central. It's
U.S. Army.
Yeah,
it's
of
a U.S.
course.
Army, but it was painted green, and some guy had an idea. It's like, what if we paint Maine Central on it? which I
I mean,
appreciate.
looks
listen,
good.
they painted a Whitcomb 20 tonner at Plant City into ACL purple. Come on.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that bad with the main central, not gonna lie.
No, it doesn't.
No, it's great.
And
Well, that's
anyways,
the black.
we begin chasing the train, and we had 4 spots planned. The first spot,
Only got the 2 of them.
at the first stop, we went there, but we didn't. We waited like 20 minutes for the train, and then it came by, and this is the train right here.
I was listening to the museum
That's
guys.
nice.
I was trying to overhear them what they were saying. They said they were going to depart early because due to the thunderstorms. I actually departed late, and that's why we were waiting 20 minutes.
So we go to the next crossing, and in the next crossing, we barely get a picture of it.
Like we had 10 seconds of warning. Luckily, the guy wasn't moving that fast, but it was good enough to get a couple of good pictures, and that was mine.
And then,
I like that
we
picture a
go
lot.
to the third crossing, and we get stuck with
Traffic and red light. Like literally everything was in our way between us and that third spot.
slow drivers, traffic, red lights, shit like that.
Pennsylvania. That's what you got.
Yeah, and then
Maryland.
we go to the museum and we walk around and we meet we talk to one of the guys asking about all the equipment and whatnot. I have some more pictures of
The
it.
funny thing is, this
no,
guy.
No, Michael, did you get a picture of the Smoky Mountain 44 tonner?
I might.
It was in the shop, I think.
Yeah, 440, which is the only one they rostered, and it was the first 44 tonner ever built.
Oh yes, we did get a picture of that.
I did.
actually.
It's great. I
So
love
did
that
I.
thing. It's my baby.
Yeah. We did get a picture of it.
The thing is, the guy who walked us around, if you looked at him, you would have thought he was 25. However, if you were blind, you would have thought he was 12. Because this man, he had a beard, and he was a redheaded feller, but his voice was so high-pitched, he almost sounded like a girl. And I shit you not. Didn't he, Michael?
Yeah, it did. But
It was kind of surreal walking around and talking to this guy. It was different. Albeit he was a very nice guy. I'm not trying to make fun of him.
yeah,
or anything, but-
my dad. I was a bit because I'm very trespass conscious, owing from a few encounters that went the
that
wrong
makes
way
sense.
from me in the past.
Oh yeah.
Which I won't get into because I don't. So I'm very trespass conscious. I don't like trespassing at all. So my dad went
Don't
up.
railfan.
There were a bunch of people, and my dad went up there and he asked, "Hey, could we walk around the yard?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Just don't climb on any of the equipment." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Fucking
So
Florida Rail Museum. You're allowed to wander around. Just don't touch anything.
anyways,
That's Cooper's Toltec.
here are some of my pictures from the what's it called? from
Where's my
the
train when I fucking departed? Because I saw you there when I
Yeah, I have
departed.
a video. I don't have a lot of pictures because most of the stuff I took was video. I guess we can go over what we actually bought. So I actually traded with Ryan I guess we already went over what Brandon bought, but I actually traded with Ryan a rare S100 for the SP Southern Pacific Desert Storm unit. You can see my SPSF background.
Yes, and it has like a working giant
Yo!
and all that, and a working beacon all in DC. It's great.
I also picked up at Star Hobby this Frisco locomotive for 35.
I have the exact same thing. 2 of them actually.
I ran them with when we were at club, Steven bought a GM&O GP30 to go with the GP35, and we ran them in a cold drag together. Also rare.
And they all had Alco trucks. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I keep closing the folder that I'm supposed to be keeping open. We'll
The
go to
stuff I got?
Ryan's stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so as this is more an accumulation of what was acquired over the whole meetup. Okay, so the stuff acquired at Star Hobby exclusively was a DCC equipped Penn Central GP38-.
Yes.
Because I felt like that was needed, and as Steven said, the Anthracite Special, a Lehigh Valley gondola, and a Reading hopper.
Yes.
So I got the trade with Michael for the S100, which was very based. Michael sort of convinced me to fucking get 2 hoppers at the club used bargain bin with some weird fucking load in it. I'm going to try and take out the load, but it's a cool thing nonetheless. One of the cars is Penn Central, so very good.
It's also weather.
Yeah, so we quite like that. At the bottom there is 2 kits for the Chesapeake and Allegheny, my club's fictional. I bought everyone a hopper car kit. I hope they all like them.
Ryan's cool.
Yes,
I bought everyone they were custom ordered from Athearn and they were selling some, so I was like, I'll buy everyone one. I bought myself 2. And then to the Kanawha is the one that I basically got for $60. I need to find
The
a new
pilot
pilot.
is the
I need to find a new pilot. If anyone has a pilot that they want, or anyone knows where I can find me a pilot and how
I
to
told
do
you, give it a
stuff.
big ass cow catcher painted red.
Another thing that I'm getting rid of a lot of the stuff that I don't use, which is the majority of my HO scale stuff. So I just started selling like HO scale stuff for like $5 to my friends.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm
I
Yeah,
call it the
and
micro
so-
train store.
And
It's
Alright,
great.
it's fine.
and
Use
so
mine.
we got and so everything else in that image, the two. So, for example, I got the 4 of the passenger cars in the lot for 30, and then every other piece of rolling stock I got for $5 each. So, well, the CN boxcar came with the canal. So, other than that, I am very happy about all of it.
All right, and then I'll get up with. Damn it! I keep closing the folder. There's a blue streak folder with all of our pictures.
The blue streak.
Even got
Blue
this.
streak.
Yes, I got that Star Hobby. I was trying to find out because I told you all my old HO steamers have been brutally dismembered. I died very tragic death because I was a dumb kid. So I went to myself to get a nice 460, and I found that Star Hobby, and it was the only good one that like wasn't extremely expensive. I had my eye on a Western Maryland decapod there, but it was $300. No, thank you. And that was only $90. Its drawbar was a bit whack, so I had to tighten, and now it works great, and I love it. It pulls a lot. It's my baby. And then, oh yeah, go back though. You can talk about my C11.
We already did.
No, I have one thing. That's actually the largest engine I've ever bought ever. I love it. It's a
Wait, I don't.
Jack, I
think-
got a letter for Cotton Belt.
Yes,
So you
yes,
have
yes.
like, don't talk to me or my son ever again about for fucking Cotton Belt cab forwards.
We're making a cotton belt. I'm gonna steal that and make a cotton belt.
All right, never mind.
Yeah,
Okay,
then
Steven, finish up with your stuff, and then Brandon
of course.
talk about his.
And there's my CNA hopper. There's my Western Maryland Caboose I bought at Star Hobby, so I can pair it with my BL2s. That reefer I bought, that milk reefer on the left, I bought for $1 from Michael because it has some coupler issues and it was broken. That Central Georgia boxcar I bought from Michael. Those 2 coaches I bought for Mixed Train Daily. The Jimeno GP30 I bought for $60. It has a broken window, but it's still a really good deal. And that little trolley down there I got for free from Ryan as a present, and I love it.
And then Brandon also got some stuff.
Yeah, I got me an L&N E8, and I got me 5 pieces of rolling stock, including the car that Ryan bought me. And previously, I had an Illinois Central Golf box car that Michael gave me for Christmas. And I also had a bobber caboose Ryan bought me for
that Illinois.
The
Central-
Richard Nixon car.
that ICG hopper is mine. I bought that in Folkestone, which was the last big meetup.
Yeah.
With Win Dixie.
Yeah.
Oh, the dog.
Gonna get shot.
Whoa.
That's what happens.
Oh, no.
I haven't read that book in so long. I was forced to read it in school once, so.
All right.
I cried.
All right. Have we wrapped up the whole thing? Is anyone else wants to add anything or not?
One lesson to foamers who don't like something over the internet: if you've ever seen something in person, don't judge it completely until you've actually seen it in person. Because I honestly used to never care for the ACS 64s nor the Chargers. However, I love them both to death in person now.
They're pretty cool engines.
Yes. Is that it? Anyone else wanna?
I think we're good. All right, next section. What is the next section? Oh, it's the interview. It's the interview with Brandon.
Oh
Yes.
no!
Oh yes,
Oh, is it
All
the,
right.
is
Okay,
it the
go
interview
to
hour
the
now?
first video.
yes. It's the interview with Jack. All right, folks. So, as you know, we bring in epic gamers onto the show.
I'm just gonna play this footage that Brandon gave me as stuff goes on.
Yes. We bring in epic people onto the show just to ask them cool questions like, hey, is Mountain Dew good or not? But anyway, our guest for today is the great, the wonderful, the meth loving Brandon Gabbard. Welcome to the
Hello,
show.
folks.
Brandon, how you doing?
I'm doing great. So our story begins with this whole signal.
Let me get up a good picture.
It's actually go to the very first. Literally the day before, we were in a manhole right next to train tracks, and this is the last train to knock down the signal before it was taken down. And it was actually a rare train.
Well, explain why you just explain like the whole story, like what's
Okay,
with the signal
so
and why you
From
decided.
the actual beginning, and not the this half-ass beginning.
Well, actually, I was okay.
My friends back in 2019, Jake Record and Trent Nation, they were in Frankfurt to see 2716 come through on the move to Ravenna or Irvin or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Ravenna.
Anyways, they stopped in Frankfurt and they said, there's a rusty old railroad signal up here. And I'm like, oh, really? I didn't know about that. So, literally a couple weeks later, I go check it out, and this is my first picture of this thing. I'm like, man, this is the roughest searchlight I've ever seen before, and I kind of want to save it. It looks sad just sitting there dead. I'm like, you know what? Maybe in August I'll try calling up RJ Corman. So finally I get the nads, and literally I had to grow the pair of nads to call RJ Corman. And even when I called them, I was quite nervous. And literally all I had to do was say, hey, I'm Brandon Gabbard. I would like for you all to donate this signal to my railroad museum that I'm a part of, the Bluegrass Railroad Museum. And can you all help me with that? Well, went through 6 different people, and finally I get to the chief engineer of fucking RJ Corman themselves. And he's like, all right, kiddo, I'll help you out. His name was Ed something. Hold on, let me go get his name. Ed.
Just Ed.
Yeah, we're just gonna call him Ed because actually I probably shouldn't give out his last name because some farmers watching was, oh, I want to get something from RJ Corman too.
I mean, it's not. It just takes a while, so.
Yes. And so he calls up. We talk back and forth for about 7 months straight, and finally says, "Okay, we'll let you have the signal. Here's the safety guidelines, and we want $1 for the documentation and the removal of the signal. I shit you not. The only money transfer was literally $1.
Nice.
And so
that's awesome.
The day of the meetup comes, like we get that. Go back to the video. I get a video of the last train knocking down the signal, like I said before. This train was very special. This is the RJ Corman office car special with 2 Jeep 38-3s at end end, and it was hauling the Kentucky Wildcats to Louisville. The basketball team.
Oh wow!
I don't know why in the middle of the summer, but they just were. So
that's fucking cool.
That was the last train, and in the morning next, we get all of our equipment ready, and the boom truck does not start. The battery died, and we got Larry Bowen here with the car charger attempting to start this darn thing. We had to take the backhoe next to it, move it up, and let it start and sit there for maybe an hour and get it running. And the battery charged enough to start the truck, and we get down there. We meet that old fella to the left in this picture. His name's David Morse. He's also, I call him a veteran from the museum because he's so darn old. And we get down there, and RJ Corman guy's late. He's supposed to be there at 8:45 rolls around, and finally he shows up. And by this time, we have the fence taken apart so we can actually get inside and mess with the signal. If you get out of this picture, this is like, no, escape that. Scroll down. Yeah. And so, actually, let me.
Brandon's telling me what pictures.
Okay, so here's us. I'm sitting on the ground. Because I was had to open to get my ratchet set out. Larry Bowen's to my left, and Jimmy Perry is right there. On the far right's my grandpa. We're observing the situation. This picture taken by David Morse. Next one. See, they're in a really weird order. Let me see it. Let's see your mouth. Okay. So we get down. The RJ Corman guy shows up, and we get everything prepared. We start drilling off the concrete next to the base. This is Jimmy doing his bit of drilling, and I did some drilling with the bit too to give Jimmy a break. And we get all the concrete free, and it's time to pull this sucker out. However, my grandpa stops me. He was like, "Hey, Brandon, we're going to be taking this thing completely apart, and want you to get pictures of the ladder." So I asked RJ Corman guy. He let me walk on the bridge and walk all over the place to get pictures of the ladder, in which I was able to get this. I think my favorite picture from there was this.
That's a nice picture.
And then get that. And the next thing was Larry Bowen. He's really good with a torch, so he torched off the bolts, the signal, and now it was time to pull it up. And this is us. This is our crane truck. We call it the boom truck. And we started lifting the signal. Signal came up with not a problem. It just popped up like nothing ever happened. It was like, okay, it's ready to go up. And let's see.
Go, my people need me.
Yes. It's like like fucking
Yeah,
lying.
look,
Oh my,
you're
this is-
trying it for its war crimes. There it goes.
This is a very shitty video. I couldn't use my actual camera because I was busy helping with them, and the signal had a wire that connected the top of it to a telegraph pole, and I was busy rolling it up because it was a massive wire and it took a lot of effort. I had to get one of my buddies to help roll it up too, and that's it coming off the pedestal and we're moving it over, and then I think the last one's us sitting on the ground. There's my grandpa to the left and Larry Bowen on the ground, and then David Morris on the right with his camera taking pictures. And then once we get, we get the darn thing on the truck, and we're on our way back, and we're literally like maybe a quarter of a mile away from the shop, and then this happens. Some idiot in a U-Haul truck took a corner a little bit too wide and got stuck in the ditch on the last turn before the shop. I crap you not. And so Jimmy Perry jumps out of the boom truck, walks up to him and it is written in his very thick redneck accent. He's like, "Hey, we wanna tow out." So he gets the backhoe we use to start the boom truck and pulls him out like it's nothing with the backhoe and drags him down the road.
That's great.
And so we get him out of the way, and we get back to the shop. And not only did we find some documentation, but we found all of the wiring plans from HK Tower to Lexington, I think.
That's
HK
helpful.
Tower's in Louisville. And the earliest date we could find on this one was 1928.
Wow.
Shit.
Almost 100 years old.
The small paper is from 71, but the big paper, oh, actually, darn it, I don't have a picture of it in here. I'm terribly sorry. But it was huge. Oh, here it is right here. Wait, no, this is not it. The big paper is above that. We don't have a picture of it currently. I forgot to add one. We get it back to the shop, and it's a rusty old signal. There's a couple of things to fix. First of all, that door is very on the bottom seal. We need to fix that, and it needs a rubber gasket. We took out all the wirings on the inside. However, the connectors on the inside and the arrestor for the light bulb are actually salvageable, which is what these parts are. And then you have the ground on the far left, the board. And me, Chris Hall, my dad, and his dad began disassembling the signal. Here's the target. Here's all the miscellaneous parts like the finial, the numbers, the brackets for the ladder, and all that kind of junk. Here's the hood. More parts. There's a lot more parts to a signal than you all would think. We took the glass lenses out, all that shit. And then here's the wire in the scrap pile because we literally couldn't read what we were going to do with it. And so my grandpa's initial idea, he's like, maybe we could put 3 light bulbs into it and call it a day. And I said, no, I don't really want to do that. So I went all the way up to Portsmouth, Ohio, and traded an SC mechanism for an SA mechanism, which this is what this is, a GRS SA. And he traded me the mechanism, and he also gave me a GRS book.
Ooh,
here's the mechanism
nice.
here. And it had this thing's in mint condition from 1971, literally catalog for everything GRS sold.
That is amazing.
It is in very good condition. However, there's only one section missing from it, which is the transformer section, which who cares about that? We don't need the transformers. And that's where we are today. The signal is most part disassembled. We have, excuse me, if I could speak English, we have re-welded the number plate, which is what that picture right here is. Larry managed to weld it. Cast iron is very difficult to weld, and we welded it back together. When we actually taking down the signal, pitched up by the number plate. What pitching up means, took the ratchet strap and pulled it up from that location, and it broke the corner. However, the top part where it goes completely across was not our doing. It's always been broken. This is where the major weld doing it. There's Larry Bowen right there. And we have yet to weld the bottom of the door. We're getting really close to. Everything is ready. Everything's ready to go. This is where we stand today. Once we weld the bottom of that door, It's going straight to Matt Gamlin with McKinney Painting, and they're going to sandblast it and spray paint it in the correct colors.
All right, now Jack, that's the story. Now Jack is. You can go ahead and ask any questions you want because you're the interview, and I'll just get up a simple photo of the signal, just kind of a background thing.
Funny enough, most of the questions I was going to ask was literally just to explain all that. Really.
Okay, well,
I
have a question then.
Okay, what's up?
You go for it, Ryan.
So long term, I remember you telling me about the whole idea about having the interactive display. Are you guys looking at more signals right now? Have you tracked some more down? Do you have an idea about what kind of signals you want in that?
I'm waiting.
Like what's going on?
Okay, I forgot to mention. The museum has two ideas for this. He's a bit of a signal nut like I am. What he wants to do is carry with all the different types of signals, from Vaders all the way to ball signals. Giant circle, have a picnic area, circle. Signals face towards the. Already has a searchlight from the Southern.
Like that.
And he told me they recently got power to a siding. Might be able to put it there. I want him severely to put the signal siding. Because I think, for all what we've done to it, gotta go on the main line,
it gotta be back in use.
Yeah.
So that really wasn't in anything else. Well, I guess if the answer is no, I guess we can move on to our next topic, which is our next section, which is the topic discussion. And part of the reason why
wait, one more.
Oh, Ryan has one more question.
Right, Michael.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yes.
Yes. Brandon, what's your favorite
Searchlight signal
kind of signal?
Yeah.
Very good.
That was the interview by Jack. Wasn't much of an interview, I would assume.
So what is the next thing to do?
What's the next thing to do?
Story time. No, it was story time.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess.
Topic discussion.
Which is, it's actually kind of inspired by something that happened last, like a short discussion that happened last podcast and the signal, which is not just how to get into railroad preservation, but how to get into like just railroad stuff in general. Like, Ryan, I thought this would be a topic that you'd be interested in.
Yeah, it is. I mean, as someone who has definitely been dabbling in historical preservation, kind of, not really. As in, I volunteered at a live steam club in Great Britain, which was based out of an old depot. Well, station over there, but I'm going to call it depot because fuck you. A depot, and I guess being part of the fucking historic Severna Park Mall Railroad Club, quite literally based out of the very historic Severna Park Depot. I mean, the problem is that getting into rail preservation, like, I definitely feel like I think we've all we've met, I mean, the railroad community is full of they're full of everyone. They're full of whack jobs. They're full of really nice people. They're full of toxic people. They're full of Muppets. It really depends on where you are.
Muppets even.
So,
Muppets
Muppets even. Dare I say, a resident of Sesame Street. But as I was saying, I suppose that, getting into rail preservation, it can seem very daunting, and it is. Sometimes. It really depends.
Oh my god.
It seems
perhaps
daunting.
You can share some of your experience, Brandon?
Biggest thing was me. Okay. I know this is going to sound a weird comparison. It's like asking out a girl. The worst thing she could say is no. That's it.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah.
And I know it's very scary and intimidating for some people to go up and ask, but all you gotta do is literally just ask.
You just called RJ Corman one day, right?
Yes, I just said, "Hey, I'm so I want to do this. Can you help me with it?"
Give me signal now, or I will.
It seems like humans always think about what can possibly go wrong and never what can possibly go right.
Yeah, because really
people fail to see that most boomers are fucking on the edge of their seat to see a kid interested in trains to carry the torch when they pass on.
That is fair.
Would love to have a young foamer
I mean,
Or
Yeah, and
mature
I've
for
noticed
longer.
this because when I told Mike Walker what I was doing, he said, we've never had anyone done this before of your age. He said it's always been like us older folks. I'm glad to see, someone as young as you are just doing all of this. That's
Yes,
what he
case
literally
in
said,
point.
and that's not just from him. That's from a multitude, which I wouldn't even expect from. I don't ask anything from nobody, but everyone's been saying that.
Like, I know this is it's not as big as a signal, but something that I do is I collect books, I collect maps, I collect timetables, stuff like that. I remember going to a model railroad show in Winchester, Virginia, and I was out looking at the all the various stuff, and this guy had a stack. They're actually behind me in some binders. The guy had a stack of old CSX like track charts and timetables from the Chicago region. And I told him, "Yeah, I collect this sort of stuff, and I want to preserve it. Maybe one day, like maybe Multimodal Ways is a nice website that I like that has a lot of maps and timetables and stuff like that." And I was explaining that might be something I want to do eventually. He said, "Have all that stuff for free." So I feel like it's almost easier for younger people to get into preservation because there's that almost need to, I guess.
well, then there's the flip side of it. There's the whole flip side that us younger folk are a bunch of brainless idiots who don't know what they're talking about.
Well, yeah,
That's-
but those okay.
That's somewhat true. Let's
To
be real.
to be fair, I believe that those people, while they do exist, they're not as big as a lot of people make them out to be. They're not as big as a group of. It's very much a case of the loudest people get the most attention.
That is true.
So while they certainly do exist, I wouldn't be like, oh, everybody is like that, and there's no way I could potentially get into preservation like that. Brandon's left the room for whatever reason.
He shit himself. Give him a good second.
And it's fine.
Our guest has walked out the recording studio. I repeat.
Very good.
Jamie, please dispatch the cops.
He'll be back. It's fine. But yeah.
We do like a Jamie quote.
I feel like because here's something kind of going a bit off topic. I feel like negativity in the railroad community is something that is generally overplayed.
Oh my god, yes. So much stupid stuff.
It's almost
happens,
it's
that's
almost
what,
like
overshadows all the good shit.
It's almost
Yeah.
like everyone around the corner is someone who is going to distrust you and is out to get you and is always going to say no. I feel like people play that up too much.
Yeah, people blow the fear mongering shit way out of the water sometimes.
Well, because the reason, I mean, to be fair, those people actually have a pedestal to stand on because, if they are the people, if those people who have made the negative experience are the people that are kind of the gateway to rail preservation, then yeah, they're going to have a negative feeling on it. And I mean, it's kind of, I suppose it sort of varies with group to group.
Yeah.
I mean, I've definitely heard some horror stories. I've also heard like the story. I mean, the Brandon Signal story is quite possibly one of the best I've heard yet. So
as I said, the as Brandon said, what could they potentially say? No, like if you ask,
Yeah.
oh, could I potentially preserve this? They're not going to try and go out and like ruin your life.
yeah.
This kid went up to me and asked me to preserve a signal. I literally skinned him alive.
And I mean, it definitely like onto your point about negativity. I do think that negativity it leaves an impact on like a lot of people. I mean, hell, it does.
I'm not
which is
denying that
unfortunate.
I'm not denying that it does, but all I'm saying is that negativity spread it gets more ears, it spreads more than positivity. Like just talking, even this conversation right now, it's like just talking about like, oh, what if, the whole, oh, what if you go into preservation, I can't because there's negative people, and it's like I don't think that really helps anybody. Like,
Well,
I
don't think if you want to get more people into preservation, I don't think the negativity is a worthwhile thing to talk about besides just saying, yes, there will be some people who will say no.
Michael, this isn't an argumentative podcast. This is a fucking podcast, and I do believe that to have a I believe that if this is turning into an argument, then you do need the opposition to that argument, or else then it's not, or else it's flawed. It's not an argument.
I want to talk about something.
I never said this was an argument, but just let Steven speak.
Ryan, what the fuck you on? Ryan's been smoking too much pot, guys. Come on.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying that this whole thing's starting to come off as an argument. What do we do to get people into rail preservation when it's a conversational podcast and it's coming off like a fucking argument?
It's
No,
not an argument, Ryan.
Ryan, it's not. Relax.
It's not. It's not an
We're
argument.
just having engaging conversation.
I'm just saying
Right.
that. I'm just saying my opinion. I'm not trying to argue with you. Just, anyways, continue.
Okay. On the topic of negativity, the biggest gateway many of us young lads have into rail fanning and rail preservation is social media and the
It's
internet.
the fucking internet. Yeah, that's all I
And
fucking
we
know.
were all cringe foamers, but we all
And we still are, but in a better way.
But to let's degree, it's just let me finish, okay? So we were all cringe foamers. Think about all those people in the past who fucking dismissed us as cringe foamers. And then think of all those people in the past who actually heard us out and were with us while we grew into our own individuals who didn't straight up foam at us for hours on end. And now we're good friends with them. You see, if you see a cringe foamer, always keep in mind how you treat them. Because one day, you know, they might just quit the hobby because there was so much just shit just going their way.
Yeah.
If an 11,
Just
I'm
try
not.
to nurture them. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to be their dad. Just let them see the light.
Try to steer them in the right direction is what I
Yes.
try to do.
And that's why we deleted Fumer Groveland.
Well, I mean, it's reasonable, but again, negative experience, as Michael said, they definitely, what is it? The most squeakiest wheel gets the grease because it rubs off on people, and it's
which is why
it's
oh,
a
wait.
problem. And I mean,
it is a problem, but it's like it's a problem that's never truly going to go away, and I feel like you only exacerbate the problem by just talking about it more. Like, if you don't talk about all the positive aspects of, like, the railroading community and the railfan community, you're never going to have the drive to be like, oh, I want to go out and do this, and this, because you'll just have people thinking, oh, shit, other people will be like, oh, they'll say no, and they'll, you know, make fun of me for it.
There's one thing, though, about steering people in the right direction. There are just some people, for how times you lead them in the water, they just...
That's
yes,
true.
that can
Like,
abandon them
there's
and
this
let
one
them do
guy.
it themselves.
There's one guy over the internet. I've tried to help him. He will not drink water. Every time I lead him to water, he will not drink it.
Matt James
At
says
that
my
rate, you'll
words
have to
have
force
rubbed
them to
off
live by
on
themselves.
people.
Also, one last thing, just as with the cherry on top. The people who have some social media followings, I'm not asking you to be perfect, but for fuck's sake, can we not throw boots full of piss at homeless people in New Jersey?
yeah, I've noticed.
Oh my
This
god!
is,
Wait, what?
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. I'm
do
not
with
done yet.
anything.
This is people look down on rail fans because the most popular cases among us. Don't laugh.
Sus.
I'm not done yet. God! Okay, no. As I was saying, the most popular cases among us, the rail fans, are people like that who throw piss boots at homeless people. Just Jesus Christ.
We've
You have an
gotten
audience. Use it wisely. It's not a right. It's a privilege.
we've gotten way off topic.
Yeah.
Anyways, you want to
just
go to
redeem
rail
yourself.
news?
Yeah, let's just go to rail news.
Let's just go to rail news, and then we'll do Caboose reviews, featuring a live Caboose review, and then we'll end up the podcast there. So the first piece of news is I should really, now that I think about it, I haven't actually read over a lot of these articles before picking them. Like, I probably should have read over them before the show, but anyways. We're limiting them to 5 articles, but the first one is Northeast Corridor Commission releases $117 billion infrastructure plan, which
Woo!
it's basically a commission that helps the Northeast Corridor to
Be better, really.
be better, really. Yeah.
It's like over 100 years old. It's falling apart.
It's the Connect NEC. It's called the Connect NEC 2035 proposal, and it basically wants to basically improve the Northeast Corridor in a lot of ways.
There we go.
Some of the wish lists include building new bypasses to where areas where Amtrak kind of twists and turns, specifically between New Haven, Connecticut, and New York.
Yes,
Another thing is replacement of 8 bridges between Penn Station and Boston.
Huh.
Basically
Just
upgrade significant portions of it to 160 miles an hour. It also calls for more connectivity between New York, Boston, in Philadelphia, which basically means better connections. Interesting thing that that it doesn't actually talk about is, say, the Frederick Douglass tunnels or the Gateway tunnels or a lot of the older bridges, which I no doubt are in the report, but a lot of this report, at least on the surface, doesn't really address a lot of things that are more immediate, such as the Gateway tunnels into New York. So
Yeah.
while I do think it's a good idea, will all of it come true? Probably not, but I do hope a fair amount of it does. The second thing is Western Maryland Scenic now operating Amtrak's last dome car, Ocean
Oh,
View.
they
And
are.
repair the track.
Yeah, which is built
Come
for
on.
the...
Come on, it's not hard, people. We just need to fucking repair the track, and then you can get your steam train.
Oh, well, it's all the county's responsibility to repair the
They
track.
already had this, Ryan, before the track
Yeah.
issue came up. They just repainted it.
Oh.
So
All right, never mind. But still,
yeah,
they
did.
my track repair.
I'll get
continue,
this.
please.
After 6, Ryan becomes the ICC. Another stories.
Tourist Railroad ICC. Let me get a picture of this up. It's not a very big picture, but
I'm not gonna lie. It kind of does. I'm not a huge fan of it.
I like
am
it
not.
because I think Circus
Well,
Scheme is hot.
Well, the problem is that the white is too pronounced when it says Western Maryland. They just need to paint that like silver with everything else, and then bada bing, bada boom. It looks good. It would look good.
All right, that's fair. That's not really a big story, to be honest. It's just kind of, I thought it would be interesting because of our tourist
Number
area,
10,
man.
Western Maryland full dome.
Here's another big one. Fires disrupting
yeah.
CNCP in British Columbia and Union Pacific in California.
Oh
So,
God.
the wildfires that several that states are failing to control because they don't do controlled burns to begin with are now affecting railroads, specifically in Canadian National, in Canadian Pacific, in British Columbia along their jointly owned track there, through Lytton, British Columbia. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yes.
It's closed due to wildfires. I think it actually reopened, I think, yesterday, which is good, so stuff can actually get out of Vancouver now. Another and more important thing is the Union Pacific line between the Pacific Northwest and Southern California. They want to replace a fire-damaged bridge near Weed, California, and they're routing trains through the Feather River Canyon and over the line through Salt Lake, through Las Vegas. Unfortunately, another wildfire took out a bridge on that line too. So you have to
California.
You basically have to go, in order to get to the Pacific Northwest right now, you either take BNSF or you have to go all the way through Denver. So
Jeez.
Oh.
And that's a very tight space there in Denver because, you know, Moffat Tunnel, all that stuff.
overland route, who knows?
Yep.
Tunnel. So another
Is epic.
Another story is that a lot of people don't know this, but intermodal traffic over the past 2 years really has been growing beyond any manageable. It's growing so fast railroads can't like properly manage the growth because, you know, it's just so much traffic. Which this happens before someone goes off and starts complaining about like PSR and whatnot. This happens every single time there's a massive uptick in traffic. Railroads are not particularly good at handling massive upticks in traffic, so go figure.
For an example, the FEC in the Florida land boom, it was single tracked and it had to double track the entire fucking railroad. And even after double tracking, they were still very high stress levels. So
Yeah,
that's not
when the Powder River Basin started to become a thing, Burlington Northern was congested to no end. So,
yep.
Yeah. Union Pacific has temporarily idled its Global 3 intermodal terminal in Chicago because there's simply so much traffic going in there. There's literally not enough room in order to fit everything.
Oh God.
BNSF is also struggling with West Coast ports. If you've been reading the news a lot, West Coast ports have basically been backed up for the past couple of years because there's no more room to expand.
Very good, very good.
It's also because of COVID, supply chains have been stretched, so that doesn't help things.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
Attica.
Yeah. Yeah. BNSF has also been running extra freight trains, a lot of extra freight intermodal trains to actually lead to congestion, which is really nice.
Yeah, I've noticed whenever I go down to the Transcon, which is just like 40 miles from my home, there's a lot of trains. A lot of it are intermodal. Like 99% of the trains are intermodal. The other 1% is Amtrak and like one manifest train.
Yeah. But
So what's the still on this?
To be fair, some of Union Pacific's PSR, some people have blamed some of Union Pacific's PSR changes, which I mean, Union Pacific is generally worse at handling traffic than BNSF, which explains why BNSF has been growing and UP has been shrinking. But other than that, who cares? Who cares? That's actually rather important. But the final news story, which I think is probably the biggest, is Norfolk Southern launches expedited less than carload service. So, if you go back to the 1950s, one of the biggest businesses that trades that Rares engaged in was less than carload boxcars. But then trucks took it all away in the 50s and 60s. Norfolk Southern is doing something very epic and trying to revive that business. So
with the FEC, baby.
Yeah, it's on a Chicago, Atlanta, Miami corridor right now, and they're going to expand it out in the future if it's successful. So what happens is a truck picks up something at a warehouse, takes it to a transload facility. It's transloaded on boxcars. Then it is put on the back. Boxcars are put on the back of an intermodal train, and then they're taken to either Atlanta or Miami or who knows. And they unload them, get them on a truck, and just go. So
I am all for this. This sounds based, especially in the current world.
So there's two types of boxcar traffic. There's full carload, which is like you fill up the entire car, and there's less than carload, which is you fill up, say, maybe half or maybe even a third of the car. Like, say I wanted to ship like 3 refrigerators from Atlanta to Miami, I could do this with this service. So Norfolk Southern is very enthusiastic about it. They say it's potentially millions of carloads they can get if they expand this, system-wide. I also like the quote at the end of this Trains Magazine article, which is, NS has a mindset and willingness to fail when it tries to tap the new flexible freight market. Quote, we think experimentation is incredibly important. If you're not failing, you're not trying. Which, that's a very good...
That is very good.
That is a very good mindset to have. Anyways, that is...
One last thing in rail news I have.
I have another thing too.
Oh yeah, we have some other...
a big fat fucking F for this E8 that was scrapped today.
Oh,
what?
Yes. It was leaking oil into a parking lot, and there was nowhere to put it.
Wait, the E8 got scrapped?
Yep.
Yeah,
yes.
Fat fucking F for
a big rip.
Rest in peace, my lad, my baby boy.
Rip.
No locomotive, how new or how old, deserves a fate like this.
That's sad.
Yeah, that's sad.
It's truly a lesson that all of them don't make it, but hey, it's still sad.
I got a few more things.
Jack?
Yeah, Jack, there's a few things coming up that Jack wants to tell us about that he's going to.
So, it was announced a few months ago that Coombrace Toltec is going to do epic things. They're going to be having what they call the Iron Horse Victorian Rambles things. Basically, they're having locomotives from the area come to the Coombrace and Toltec and run there. This includes the Glenbrook from the Nevada State Rail Museum. Yeah, there it is. That's Glenbrook right there. It includes the Eureka and Palisade number 4, Eureka, Epic 440. This engine's right there. The Rio Grande 315 is going to be decorated like that. And DNR's W168, they just restored that thing. They're all going to be going over Coombrace Pass. They're going to be going all the way to Antonito from Chama. And 168 and 315, they're going to be doing a doubleheader overnight with a first ever night train service in like forever.
There's also a picture of 2926.
That's another thing. It was announced not too long ago that Santa Fe 2926 is going to be running again. It's going to be doing a test run next weekend on July 24th and July 25th. So, yeah, it's going to be epic.
Very based. Now, let me finally get up the last segment of our show, which is Caboose Reviews.
Let's go!
Second to last segment.
Caboose Reviews.
Caboose Reviews.
So we're gonna go over the first few Caboose.
Too small.
All right, Steven, what is this Caboose here?
Okay, little boy. It's fucking adorable. Very tall, very stubby, horrible proportions. It's literally called Caboose. It's quite literally called Caboose. I love it.
It's also Sacramento Northern, so it's an instant 0.
10 out of 10.
I give this 10 out of 10. I assume Coda sent this in.
Yeah, fuck
Okay.
Coda. Yeah, yes, he did because he hates the SN, so he can die in a hole.
Oh my god.
7.
What is this?
This is a 7.
It's the McBoose.
All right, oh, I remember seeing something about this. It was legit done by
Hello.
McDonald's. I forget what the heritage
It's the
is.
McBoost. It's the McBoost. You can eat on a train. 10 out of 10.
I forget the heritage of it, but they bought it from that railroad, and they made it McDonald's.
Yes, they bought it from that railroad.
It looks to be of XCN origin.
Yeah.
Yes, like CN or CP or Sula.
Yeah,
there's also this.
Brass River Railroad. It's so tall, I can fit in it.
Okay, can I just say, this is something that you would see out of, like, one of those really shitty plastic, like, G-scale train sets.
I love how it has no windows either. It's holes.
Fun fact, it was actually preserved.
Where is it?
I want to find it.
It was at the first successful rail museum ever, a rail city in upstate New York, in the middle of nowhere. It's a really cool story, but it was actually scrapped when the museum went out of business in the late 60s.
Oh, big sad.
What do you give it?
I give this Caboose a 7 out of 10.
Beautiful.
I think I gotta agree with Jack. Solid 7.5. Also, Long Boy.
This is an instant 10 out of 10 because it's Frisco.
Okay, what do we got here? We got Frisco. Was that built from a flat car or something?
It's a BN patch.
They just got a flat car and just.
There's more room for fucking, but there's not enough room for trucking.
You know, this reminds me of what Paducah and Louisville does for their quote unquote cabooses. They legit because they get a little flat car.
It's a BN patch, so for me, it's just a 9 out of 10.
But this is kind of like what Paducah and Louisville does for their quote unquote cabooses. They get a flat car and just put a little office on there. And I give this a 10 out of 10 because of that. So
all right, now the last one is very special. It is our Caboose review that we did at 240p video.
Live Caboose reviews.
Live from Folsom Prison, aka Cumberland, Maryland. It's not playing.
Roll it.
Hello? All right.
Hello.
You're rolling.
Okay, Caboose reviews. The green and the
Can't hear it.
makes it look like something out of a fucking LGB starter set. I do kind of like it though. The wood is nice, classic Beano style. Final rating, this is ugly. Never mind. 4 out of 10. Okay, thanks, bud.
I'll upload that as a standalone video, don't worry.
Yes, please.
Anyways, that is the conclusion of our show today. Do you guys think it was better than the last one?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Jack,
No.
die.
Oh, I want to.
Yeah.
Bring it on!
So, I guess it's the outro now. Ryan, Steven, you host the outro.
Steven has to say something.
The outro. Thank you for tuning in. Please give us feedback again on things we can do better, on things you liked. And don't forget to, in the 311 server in the train chat, always post them Khabibs, because we need them for Caboose reviews.
Maybe we should create our own separate channel. For
And thank you for watching. I am what?
No, we have to say our final sentence.
I have one more thing to say.
Okay.
In the next episode, you'll.
For me, is one small step for man, one large leap for blarb kind.
Thank you, Steven. I have to say one thing is that in the next episode, we will be expecting a very base railroader. He's epic. He takes good photos. He'll be on the next show.
Real person on the show.
Our first real person.
Michael?
Ready for the next show.
I don't know.
Thank you.
Oh, Brandon.
All you gotta do is just gonna have the ads to do.
Hell yeah.
You see, Brandon says the most simplest things, the most inspirational way. Ryan, what's your
Ryan, what is your quote for the day?
Your final sentence.
Fucking. I bet they can't even call him Mr. or Mrs. Potato Head anymore.
Thank you. I'm your host, Steven Oshesky, along with Jack, ALW Productions. Ryan Loebner, aka 2026 Productions, Short Line 614, aka Michael, and this is our guest, Brandon Paul Poo, aka please subscribe to all of us, subscribe to the channel, share this around, share it around, please, Lord, we need the exposure.
Sorry for being a day late.
Yeah.
We just forgot.
I thought it was on Saturdays.
No, it's today's Sunday. Oh wait, no, is
It
today
is?
Saturday?
It's Sunday. It
Oh,
is
wait, no,
Saturday.
today is Saturday. Wait, what day is it?
Today is Saturday.
It's Saturday, Michael, you absolute boomer. What are you talking about?